Okay, everybody. Thank you for attending a webinar on leveraging mobile app for data collection. My name is Alex Bachman. I'm glad you could join us today. My job today is to hopefully educate you about mobile app data collection, its advantages, how it can be done quickly, efficiently, and also to share with you how to build apps, kind of give you an overview of how to build mobile apps quickly and efficiently. In terms of logistics, I'm going to go through some slides. This is a relatively small group today, so you have plenty of opportunity to ask your specific questions. Don't be shy. You can key them in to the question section, and I will be sure at the end of the presentation to answer your specific questions as well. Okay, so our agenda. First, we're going to talk about traditional data collection, which we all know and love, or love to hate. We'll look at problems with traditional data collection. Then we'll switch gears and talk about mobile data collection advantages. And then I will spend some time specifically show you a platform for building apps with mobile data collection capabilities. Okay, so what are the problems with traditional data collection? As we know, people are working in the field. Oftentimes it's paper, pencils, sometimes it's PCs and cameras awkwardly fitted into mobile environment. It's time-consuming, it's cumbersome, it's tedious, it's error-prone, it's all of the things that you know happen in the field. It's very difficult oftentimes to collect the information, get people to fill out the forms, write it down. If you do, it's error-prone. You bring it back to a home office situation where somebody needs to re-enter the data into corporate systems. Just a lot of work, mistakes, and so on. And that's been kind of the state of the art until mobile technology really caught on, right? The good news is that, pretty much everyone, has a smartphone device or a tablet device, or your company has equipped you with one. And so you have in your hand a fantastic state-of-the-art capability for collecting data quickly and being able to put it to use immediately. So there's a lot of change that's going on right now in the industries. Just about every industry that has people working in the field or products in motion is benefiting tremendously from doing mobile data collection. So let's take a look at more specifically at advantages of mobile data collection. First of all, time is money, right? And so anything that can be done to dramatically reduce the amount of time spent on collecting the data, making it faster, making it less error-prone, removing the re-entry where data can be just collected immediately, immediately submitted into corporate back-end systems where the data can be acted upon is a huge benefit. As I go along these, I will try to give you some examples of real-world apps that we have built for clients and the kinds of impact that they have made in various areas. So, for example, on reducing the time, give you an example of a tracking app that where before the information about delivery of goods would have to be done in the paper form, was brought back into the home office, was not entered into the system for a while, and only then the customer could be invoiced. with mobile data collection app, all of this could be done literally in real time. The driver takes a picture of the inventory and keys in the data. The customer digitally, electronically signs off. The information is then immediately sent to the warehouse where the an invoice is automatically generated, right? Saving the company a tremendous amount of time and really speeding up invoicing process. Another example of mobile data collection is where a company can respond to incidents more quickly, right? So, for example, you're in the utilities company, and for utilities companies, time is money, right? The shorter the duration of an outage, the less it costs them, and oftentimes, the outages can be measured in millions of dollars. So, if you have your workers equipped with mobile devices and they can do an assessment, damage assessment very quickly with comprehensive data, photographic evidence, and be sent immediately for analysis, and the company can respond, utility company can respond more quickly and bring the right resources to bear and shorten the outage. So ability to collect information kind of in real time is really key in a number of industries. Ability to improve workforce productivity, right? It's it's really giving people the ability to not only have productive time during the time spent in the office, but just as importantly, be able to give people the flexibility to get work done while they're in transit, right? So that alone can save many employees hours and hours each day, which then directly translates into cost savings and increased productivity in the workforce. A lot of the apps that we have worked with for clients are apps that are designed to essentially improve or automate an existing process and improve reliability or improve performance. I mean, as you can imagine, when you're able to collect data of various types and get that data quickly for decision making to back-end systems, or it could be even as simple as collecting this data and emailing it immediately for analysis. Certainly goes a long way to helping organizations save time, save money, and improve productivity. Another big use case for mobile data collection is ability to do assessments, audit, for example, prevent equipment malfunction. A lot of companies that have multi-million-dollar equipment out there. One that comes to mind is doing a equipment analysis on multi-million-dollar cranes. Right? Imagine the outage that and the cost of the outage, more specifically for companies like this, where you have a multi-million-dollar equipment that when it goes idle, there's real impact to the business in terms of the lost revenue opportunity. So being able to build apps to quickly and efficiently inspect equipment, prevent malfunctions, do it proactively goes a long way and is really easy for businesses to justify spending money on these kinds of apps. And the last, but certainly not the least, is there's a lot of companies that want to really, this time, I mean, it's been talked about in the industry for a long time, eliminating paperwork and going green. But I think we really have the opportunity now to really do it. I mean, so many paper forms can be eliminated or at minimally reduced Information can be collected very quickly on mobile devices and acted upon. And the savings are tremendous. I mean, not only are there green benefits for killing less trees, but think about the savings in printing forms, shipping forms, which is very expensive. So there are a lot of apps that we work with customers that are basically about eliminating paper forms, eliminating pads of paper, and the issues associated with those. So lots and lots of reasons and lots of ways that you can justify building mobile apps for your organization or your clients. Let's talk a little bit about the technology for doing data collection. We at Snappi build a platform that is ideally suited for building very robust data collection apps. We spend a lot of time and invested a lot of resources in giving people the ability to create apps that collect data very thoroughly and in different types of data, right? So you can build apps that collect numeric, alphanumeric, time and date. You can grab GPS, collocation, coordinates. You can attach a map to a form very easily. You can collect photographic evidence, which is, become kind of a key application in many mobile data collection apps. You have the ability to take customer signature, but letting them, sign right on the device. So we built a lot of capability to capture data, different varieties of data quickly and easily. We've also built capabilities into Snappi platform to allow you to build apps that work in both online mode when internet connection is available and work in the offline mode, which is very often the case, right? A lot of our customers have employees that are out in the field, away from, where 3G services are not readily available, or they have employees that are, working on oil rigs or, underground. And so, when you're building mobile data collection apps, you can't take for granted that there is internet connectivity available, right? So it's really important to be able to store data locally on the device and then have the ability to forward that data to websites, databases, applications, or simply email when that connectivity, when internet connectivity becomes available to you. So Snappi platform provides capability for you to do just that. You can collect a variety of data, and then you can send the data in a variety of different ways with a lot of flexibility. From something as simple as emailing it and turning that data into a spreadsheet or a PDF, to posting to a website, to posting to a back-end database. We provide a web service REST interface, which is automatically built in. So to connect to a system using REST protocol is basically a matter of creating an XML connector, an XML document in our terminology. And that will enable the collected data to be posted into any system that supports REST protocol, which now has become the most common ways, the most popular web services protocols. So you have a lot of flexibility in terms of how you're collecting the data. And you have the ability to, in the platform, in the Snappi platform, to quickly and easily change your app. Adding fields, removing fields, adding forms. There's a lot of capability to create pretty sophisticated forms in terms of your ability to nest tables inside tables. There's a lot of work that went in to create a very comprehensive data collection capability. Push notifications is also a component of the Snappy platform, so you can design apps to send notifications to specific people, to all. There's a lot of flexibility associated with that. Let me spend a few minutes and kind of give you our perspective on why we think that designing mobile apps for data collection, building them as native apps as opposed to HTML5 hybrid apps, has many advantages. When you're building a mobile app, it's as I mentioned, it's really important to have local database capability, right? To be able to store the data locally for review, for resubmission when the internet connection is not available, right? These are very important use cases that sometimes are not as obvious, but once you start working with a client and you understand that they have the need to collect the data no matter what and be able to then forward the data when the internet connection becomes available, local database is really important. In local database, it's a lot easier to build apps and access to local databases using native Java or Objective-C in case of iOS technology, because you have full access to local databases, as opposed to when you're building a hybrid app. It's a much more complicated and error-prone process because web apps were never designed to write data locally to devices. Another really important reason is in terms of leveraging bringing your own device, which is, pretty much universally now getting accepted in many corporations. You're building apps that look like native apps because they are native apps. The apps that are generated by the Snappy platform are generated as native apps. It's Objective-C in iOS, it's Java for Android. They're compiled, they're linked with SDKs on native platforms. They look and feel like native apps because they happen to be native apps, right? And that's a much better approach. Another reason to build native apps for data collection is because you're going to get a timely access to new OS features and bug fixes. When Apple or Android releases new features, and there's a lot of innovation that's still going on. I mean, iOS 7 just came out recently. There's a lot of capability that's being delivered that as a native app you can take advantage of very quickly in terms of access to new features of the operating systems. Native apps certainly have an advantage. I think another key advantage is in terms of being able to have flexibility in securing the data and in scaling the data. Being able to build apps that are designed for thousands of users that can be deployed quickly and easily. And then having a variety of multiple levels of data capture, right, in terms of access to native device features, being able to capture the data quickly and easily, and deploy your apps quickly. So let me give you a little bit of an overview of how the apps are developed using Snappy in the Snappy platform. So when you build apps in Snappy, you're not writing code. You are building apps visually by essentially dragging, dropping, and configuring pre-built objects, right? So these are not just sort of user interface objects. There are things like fields and forms and so on, but there are also things like QR code scanners, shopping carts. There are photo capturing elements that you can basically very quickly and easily add to your app. You drag them, you drop them to exactly where you want them to appear in your app. You're building the app in a platform-neutral canvas, which then allows Snappy to make the app specific for any of the platforms that we are deploying in. So basically, you build a picture, Snappy generates the code to power your app. So when I'm building an app, as soon as I build enough of an app and I want to show it to other members of my team or a client or QA people, I can save it, click a button to save it, and then my teammates can immediately start seeing this app work on their mobile device. I mean, it's really, really cool. There is no time that you need to waste for compiling, debugging, linking. I mean, it's literally save, and the users start seeing your app work on their mobile devices. So in terms of the development process, it's very iterative. You build the app in the WYSIWYG visual editor. The minute you save it, Snappy platform starts generating the app, building it, compiling it, and you can start previewing the app on Android devices, iOS devices, and people can start giving you feedback immediately. In fact, you could be making changes in your app while you have your team in conference, right? So for example, someone says, you know, I'd like this field to be added here, and or I'd like to have this OK button. Can we move it from here to there? These kinds of changes can be done in real time, you know, as you're talking to your clients or you know, other members of your team. So the process of building is very iterative. Once you build the app, you can submit the app to the app stores, and we have automated that process to basically where you need to enter a little bit of data and click a submit button, right? Or if you already have an app that you published and you'd like to update this app, Snappy allows you to update your app on, doesn't matter how many devices, could be thousands of devices with a press of a button. You take a look at your app, you're happy with it, you just hit publish, and immediately all of the users of your app get a notification message saying that there is a new version of your app available. Would you like to upgrade? I mean, it's that simple, right? So imagine how quickly you can build mobile data collection apps working iterative like that in with your customers, developing apps, developing prototypes very quickly, getting their feedback, making changes, and then just as importantly, once the app is published, you know, being able to make changes to it literally in minutes, and being able to distribute these changes instantaneously. I mean, that's one of the key advantages of Snappy platform. It's in one word, speed. I mean, it's the ability to build it quickly, update it easily. It's, you know, if you're familiar with website building terminology, a lot of times it's called content management systems. That essentially the underlying guts of the platform is a content management system for mobile apps, right? The difference here is that we're talking about native apps. So you have the ability to build native apps and at the same time modify them very quickly and very easily. In terms of architecture, let me spend a few minutes in terms of the architecture when you're building mobile apps on Snappy. It's very important for, many of our clients are large enterprises with thousands of users scattered around the world. So security, scalability, performance are very important things to our clients. When you build apps on Snappy platform, you're building an app that runs on a distributed platform. We generate the client-side app, which then takes advantage of the cloud server for a lot of the services that it delivers. And that's how the app gets the performance, right? So, for example, imagine you're building an app to collect data and submit it into an SAP system. If you have thousands of app users, the last thing you'd want to do is establish thousands of connections to an SAP system. When you're building an app with Snappy, the data collection happens on thousands of devices, but then it's centralized and managed in a platform server where there is a single session that goes into the back-end system, whether it's SAP, Salesforce, some other kind of proprietary system. This two-tier architecture is what enables our customers to build highly scalable apps. The cloud server is a very important component of our platform. It provides security, provides encryption, it provides user management, so you can build apps with some or all of the functionality that is secured, that can't be done without a login. You can predetermine who the users are, what their access rights are, so there's quite a bit of features and functions that you can take advantage of from a security perspective. The platform also offers you database services, so which are basically powered by a Microsoft SQL Server on the back end. So you don't need to have access to your corporate databases at all, or not right away. You can take your data, upload it in spreadsheets, and create databases, right on the Snappy platform server that are accessible by your client-side app. So there's a lot of flexibility in working with the system, and part of the speed of development of Snappy is because of the cloud server's ability to centralize so much code that you would need is already pre-written and available to apps, so that in apps the code that runs in the apps is basically focused on data collection, utilizing device capability, and user interface, right? Which is one of the key reasons for speed and performance and scalability of these apps. Those are the slides I have for you today. Hopefully I've given you some ideas for use cases for mobile data collection, maybe some of the things you haven't thought about. I would very much encourage you to register on snappy.com, watch some of our tutorials, and read some of our white papers so you can get some additional information. Try the system. If you are, reasonably technical person, you can start building apps on Snappy in a fairly short order. Like I said, it's visual development. There's no language to learn. So hopefully, register, give it a shot. And we would love to hear from you about your specific requirements that you need for your organizations or your clients. I'm going to open up the question section of the seminar. Feel free to enter questions, and I will stick around to answer them for you. Okay, I see a question about you're interested in, one person is interested about learning about an employment form app. So if you email your questions to sales@snappy.com or support.com, we'll be happy to get you some additional information. Okay, one of the questions is, what kind of development assistance and support do you offer? So we work with clients in a variety of ways, from training you and letting you build the apps completely on your own, to full service capability where we will basically build the app, train you, train others. It really comes down to what you need, and we're very flexible in how we work with clients. So let us know more specifically, what your needs are, and we'll be glad to respond. Do we have a sample app that you can modify? The answer is yes. We have lots of sample apps in various industries that are pretty ready-made apps, we call them. I mean, there's a lot of capability that's already built. These are the apps that you can make use of. You can rebrand them. You can extend them. You can customize them specifically to your needs. So we have a pretty extensive library of these ready-made apps that you can modify, or we can work with you to modify them for your needs. Do we offer white label arrangements? Yes, we do. We have a number of our clients who are essentially in the business of creating mobile apps for clients, so that when you build an app, you can have it completely white labeled or branded with your logo. The apps are native, so they are basically, the end user has no way of knowing how or what technology the apps were built with. There's a question about, is there a specific industry where we see the most customers in? The answer is yes. I mean, it's probably the most active industries for us: airlines, insurance, oil and gas, utilities, industries where people are working in the field, or products that are being transported. Usually industries that where mobile data collection, has a profound impact on their industry. So if there is a lot of natural mobility in the industries, those industries tend to be the farthest ahead. Okay, there's a question in terms of pricing. It really depends on the app, its complexity. I will tell you one thing: it's a lot more quicker to develop. I mean, significantly quicker to develop than some of our competitors like Appcelerator or Kony. It's done at a fraction of the time and at a fraction of the cost. So I would encourage you to get in touch with us, share with us your requirements. Let's have a dialogue. This capability in the platform is really unique to us in being able to do what programmers do in days, in months of coding. You can do in Snappy literally in days, right? So, this is a game changer, folks. This is the ability to do native apps so quickly and so easily, and modify them so easily, is a key distinguishing characteristic from us, and our competitors simply can't touch us. So when it comes to speed. So if speed and flexibility is important to you, we would love to have a dialogue with you and engage with you and or your clients, really make a difference for your client's business. Typically, the development process is about 2 weeks, even for the most sophisticated app. So, I mean, you know, real robust enterprise-grade app that connects to back-end systems through web services with, you know, complex data collection, literally about 2 weeks. We get your requirements. We can usually show you a working prototype on mobile devices within 48 hours. And for 48 hours, you are working with an app, a real app running on Android and iOS devices. We get your feedback. We, you know, continue to work with you to refine it. And the typical end-to-end time is literally about 2 weeks. Okay, the question is about publishing process and timelines. So usually, so for publishing in the Android Google store, it's basically about 20-30 minutes. It's practically instantaneous. You fill in a little bit of data, and we take care of the submissions for you. With Apple, because it's there is a review process and an approval process, typically it takes about 7 to 10 days. We have a lot of experience in working with Apple in that we have submitted many thousands of apps that have been approved. So it's a process. It's certainly, as a process working with Apple. Sometimes it gets approved first time around. Sometimes there are some changes that need to be done. But we have a lot of experience in working with Apple and knowing basically what kinds of things to flag and how to get your apps approved quicker and simpler. But the submission process is very automated. Once you build the app and it's in the App Store, then you can modify the apps quickly and easily, and oftentimes, without having to go through the submission process. Okay, fantastic. All right, so if you think of other questions, email them to sales@snappy.com, and would love to hear from you, and wish you a wonderful day.